You have to be quick if you want an altguild. altguild.com.
Hey everyone, glad to have you back. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Hope everyone had a good Christmas and Happy New Year, by the way. We had a pretty good Christmas ourselves, despite having to close the store due to the Canada Post strike. That ended up wiping out about 100% of my Christmas sales this year. But I do like to look at the silver lining of things, and it did free up a lot of time. I got to use that to spruce up the place as we had family from all over converging on our place for Christmas dinner. But it also gave me lots of extra time to work on this particular project. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. If you remember in the first video, we worked on creating our first budget envelope. This is made from white photocopy paper and clear glossy laminate. And in the video, I also asked people to give me suggestions for budget categories, as well as what kind of materials that I can experiment with and use, what they would suggest that I use. And I got a whole bunch of categories. I got them all listed down in an Excel spreadsheet. But overwhelmingly, material suggestion, people were saying that I should use, instead of the white photocopy paper, use see-through vellum. And for the laminate, they said I should switch over to using matte laminate. So that's what I went to the store and picked up. Here is the laminate. Sorry, the what do you call it? Vellum. Vellum, that's what it's called. And this is the matte laminate that I got. So I took this piece of vellum and I printed the word groceries across it and dropped in the money to take a look to see what it is like. And I get it. I can see why people like this. There's a simplicity to this design. But at the same time, there's something about it that didn't quite sit right. So I had to think about that for a while. I think it had something to do with the word going right across the bill. Like, again, it looks, it's nice, it's simplistic, but something about it just didn't work for me. So I set it aside for a few days to think about it, and I was having a chat with my wife about the vellum and asked her thoughts on it. And she said that the vellum with wedding invitations, it adds a, not a quality, but a sense of elegance to it, as well as it's opaque so you can see through it. It makes everything look soft and presented basically a nice picture. And it was that term or word she used, picture, that gave me a bit of an idea and formed a theory behind it. So this is about budgeting, accounting, not the most exciting thing in the world. Frankly, for some people, it's downright stressful. So anything that we can do to improve the experience would be a bonus. So that got me thinking about Hollywood, the movies, or certain scenes in the movies. You've seen where a person comes in with a briefcase and he opens it up and it's filled with stacks of cash. And he pulls those stacks out. When you see those stacks of money, it looks attractive. If we go into another scene of a movie that takes place a few hundred years ago, you'll see a person who rides up on horseback and he pulls out of his pocket a coin purse filled with gold and silver coins and hands it to somebody for a payment. The look of the purse, the sound of the money jingling in it, again, is attractive. Or in real life, you'll be shopping and you come across these chocolate coins. Now, you know they're worthless, but when you're walking past them, your brain looks at it and gets confused, but all it sees is, ooh, shiny. Or my favorite is the Pirate's Treasure Chest. This actually has a treasure inside of it. It's filled with 1 ounce silver bars, pure silver, and bags of pure silver shot. The reason I have this, it's a convenient place to keep it all, but I do a little silversmithing on the side as well. So let's just put this away. So the focus here is on the imagery of the money and how it makes you feel. I want to take your efforts, all the hard work you've done in your budgeting, and use that to help motivate you. So every time you open up your binder, the first thing you're greeted with is an envelope that has money inside of it, regardless of whether it's a $1 bill or a $20 or a $100 bill. As soon as you see that, it's an instant hit of dopamine. Now, even if you go through your envelopes and you come across empty envelopes, those are motivational as well, because you look at that and it makes you want to fill those particular envelopes. So that's my theory at the moment. As to my idea on how to do this, I take my cue from the word picture. If you have an image that you want to put up on the wall, you don't just stick it up on the wall. First thing that you do is you get yourself a frame. And that's what I want to do here. I want to create a frame or a border around the money. As for the text in the center, which is covering up your work, I want to move that up to the top. And you'll find that also when you're flipping through your envelopes, because the word's right at the top, it's a little bit easier to work with. Now, as to the style that I want to do, that was a no-brainer. Art Deco. I'm also a huge fan of classic murder mysteries from the 20s, such as Miss Fisher, Hercule Poirot, Miss Marple. Art Deco not only portrays power and wealth, but elegance as well. So let's take a look, and I'll show you what it is that I finally settled on. Let's just clean up the space here. But first, let's take care of a little bit of a problem here with the camera. Let's increase the contrast that keeps changing. I tell you, after I get this product launched, I am going to take some of the earnings from this and put it towards another new camera and see if I can solve this problem. Oh, that's much brighter. Okay, so where were we? The envelope. So grab one here, throw some money inside. And that's what I've come up with. Give you a closer look to it. As you can see, the Art Deco design, and the font I used was an Art Deco font. I wanted something easy on the eyes and yet still readable. Put it at the top there so it's easier to find when you're flipping through. And you can see your money just fine. So there you go. Simplicity, yet some elegance. That's what I wanted to come up with. So with that done, let's take a look at the work I did with the binder. Oh, and yes, I made a bunch of different ones. So we got like groceries, retail therapy, spent, dining out, vehicle gas, donations, entertainment, household, and kids. That's what I've got so far. I'm sure there's going to be more in the future, but that's pretty much it at the moment. So again, let's go take a look at the binder now. And this is the binder that we worked on in the second video. This is a prototype that we used, that we created, I should say, to get the dimensions I needed for making the templates for the future covers. Has the hardware. I need to know where the holes are. This is an industry standard. And that's what we created. A little bit of information on the hardware. I went to the dollar store when researching this stuff and wanted to get an idea of what cheap looks like when it comes to this hardware. So I picked up a few different models of binders, and that gave me a good idea of what I needed to look for, and I contacted a bunch of different suppliers and slowly got samples in, and eventually I settled on this particular one. Now, one of the main benefits to why I'm using this particular hardware is the quality of the hardware is really good, but I also have another option. If you were to damage the hardware in some way, say you put it in the trunk and it got crushed or something along those lines, be rather difficult with this hardware, but it could happen. You could damage it. I want you to be able to repair this stuff easily yourself. And what I came up with was, in the leather industry, we have concho screws. See if we can get a closer pic of what that looks like. Come on, zoom in, focus. There we go. So yeah, this is a concho screw. It's a two-piece screw. One screws into the other. And here and here on the cover, or where they are, you just take a screwdriver and you can undo or tighten up the screws and easily remove this. If you wanted to, you could go to the dollar store and pick up one of these cheap ones, because again, it's an industry standard as to where the holes are. And with a little ingenuity, you could just take a pair of pliers, rip that rivet off, and you'd be left with a hole that you could put your concho screw through, and you can attach it on there. I'm probably going to put the hardware online as a listing as well. I think that'd be a good idea. So if you were to ever damage, you could always contact me, and I'd have extras of these. So I'll probably put these online to sell as well. So yeah, what else can I say? That's pretty much from the second video. This is the prototype that we made. And now here is the first one that's going to be going up for sale. It's the Old Soul Binder edition. I say edition is because the traveler's notebooks that I make, I have what's called an Old Soul. I really like this classic look, and I decided to carry that over onto this, so I had to rework the design a bit to get her to fit. And as you can see, when you open it up, oh, look, first thing you're greeted with is that picture. There's that dopamine hit. And yeah, a whole bunch of different envelopes inside here. And then we get to this one. We'll talk about this a little bit later. But yeah, this is all sized a little bit larger than what some people's might be. The reason for that was I wanted to make sure that things like these pouches, these little zip pouches, can fit in there without sticking out, as well as some people like to put tabs where they buy other envelopes. You can use my thing with other envelopes, but some people like the tabs on here, and I want to make sure that the tabs stay inside the cover as well, so I made it just a little bit larger. So there you go. That's the first cover that's going to go online. Not just yet. I've got a bunch of other things I want to come up with and put together before I launch this whole line, but that's the cover. So with that in mind, the third thing that I want to show you is envelope. This right here. This kills two birds with one stone. So let's deal with the first bird. I've been noticing online people are selling these plastic clear envelopes for the budgeting system, and they have a practical use. They're a little bit narrower than this, maybe a little bit longer, and they got little snaps for closing. You put your money inside those envelopes, and you use that to carry your money back and forth to the bank. The only problem is that they are clear, see-through. I don't know about you, but getting out of your car in the bank parking lot and walking to the door with an envelope that is clear, showing you got a whole bunch of money inside of it, it's probably not the smartest thing to do. This is the answer to this. What I did was I took a piece of a cardboard folder and cut it up and created the dimensions that I needed and made this prototype. Even the circles are little pieces of cardboard that I took a black marker to. And I took this entire design and the measurements, and I contacted a manufacturer to make these for me, and the end result was this right here. This is a security envelope. You don't see them too often anymore, and when you do, they tend to be larger envelopes meant to hold full-size documents. Lawyers, governments, banks, and that might use it for transferring sensitive information. As you can see, it's not see-through. This is the perfect thing for you to put your money in, and you can carry it safely without people knowing what it is that you've got inside here. The security aspect behind this, well, the envelope's designed to be a reusable envelope. You can unstring the string that's wrapped around these two circles, and you can reuse the envelope over and over. But the security aspect is, I've seen them where they take wax seals and they put it right here, and then they put their stamp on it. Alternatively, they put the string off to the side and put your wax seal over the string here and stamp. And the only way to get into this thing without damaging the envelope is to cut that string, and you have access to it. Also, I really like these packets. They feel really good. When you put a stack of cash in here, and that goes back to that whole conversation about that dopamine hit. When you put cash inside that, it just feels good, and it reminds me of a scene in a spy movie where two spies meet together in a park by a park bench, and the two sit down, and one exchanges a bag with the other, and the other person reaches into his pocket and pulls out this packet full of cash, hands it over, and then the two of them part ways. So it's kind of funny that way. Anyways, yeah, it feels good when it's filled. Right now I got a whole bunch of envelopes sitting inside here, but you can imagine what it would feel like when you have that cash inside there and you're going back and forth to the bank. Again, it's rewarding, and that's what I really like about it. Oh, almost forgot. You'll notice, yes, I've got one inside the binder. There's nothing, I'm not going to be punching these myself, but there's nothing stopping you from getting a hold of a hole punch and punching holes and being able to hold them inside the covers. I had them made to the maximum size of the cover so that they would, or binder, so that they would fit in there just fine if you decide to do exactly that. So there you go. Now, as to the second bird, let me just get this put away. So yes, the second bird is packaging. Now I am going to be selling these in the store in packs of like 3 or 5 or 10 or something along those lines. But the intended use for this, for me, on the packaging side of things, and this is a way for you to possibly get these things free, is that I'm not big on like over packaging a product. My covers that I sell ship in a simple package like this, and I take my cover and I slide this in and I put that in the mail. The products that I sell, the quality and the toughness of them can survive the mailing process. So I'm not concerned with that. I don't need to wrap it in all kinds of things. You know, I've seen people, now I can appreciate how some people like really well packaged items kind of thing, but I can't bring myself to take my product like this and put this in a plastic sleeve, wrap this with some tissue paper, drop it into another bag, which gets wrapped in another bag, and then put into a box, and then packaging put on that, and then close up the box and put more stickers on the box and thank you letters. And okay, you got me on the thank you. I do the thank you letter thing, but all that packaging I have to account for. I have to purchase it, and I guarantee you that kind of packaging, you're going to have the cost turned over to the customer. And any other business out there who's not turning that cost back over to the customer is, well, good luck treading water, let's put it that way. But at the same time, I can't bring myself to just shove these into the envelope loose like this. And so that's what this answers. When you're buying these particular envelopes, they're going to come in sets, and I'm going to package them in one of these. So essentially, for each set, you're probably going to get one free. And there's a whole bunch of them right inside here. So that could save you a little bit of money. So that's that. Let's clean this up a little bit. That's good. Also, about packaging, I'm also trying to figure out how to mail these. Again, normally I use this package here to send my covers in, so there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do it inside one of these to keep costs down. They fit just fine inside here, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm doing a test where I'm taking, I got a friend of mine who lives out in Australia, and I'm taking the prototype, and I'm concerned about the hardware. The leather, I'm not so concerned with. It's pretty tough stuff, but I'm concerned about the hardware and how it'll last through the mailing system. So I want to see what's going to happen. So I'm going to take one of these, and I'm going to ship it to a friend of mine down in Australia who's going to receive it, open it up, and report back any pictures or whatever damage that might be done to the hardware or the leather. And then he's going to put it back inside an envelope like this and mail it back to me. And we'll take a look at it then to see how well it handles. If it ships well, there's no problems or anything, this is how I'm going to ship the product. Pretty straightforward. The only thing else that's going to be inside here is maybe pouches of these, or you know, my thank you letter might be inside there. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to packaging. So saving money for everybody, that's the goal here. Well, that takes care of the two birds with one stone issue. This is the end of the video now. Now, before you go, if you have any thoughts or any ideas, suggestions, please leave it down in the comments or contact me via the other social media platforms that I'm on, private or public, doesn't matter. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, of course, Instagram, X. Yes, send me your thoughts. So that's pretty much it. So until the next video, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this, and we'll catch you then. Take care.
You have to be quick if you want an altguild. altguild.com.
You gotta be quick.
If you want an alt guild. Got the goods?
You got payment? Hey, nice envelope.
Thanks. You got the goods?
You got the payment?
Nope.
I'm out.
You got it.
Okay, little tip.
Oh, no, you got it. You must have it.
Wow, I've already got payment. Chill. Sure. Action check.
Nope.
We'll chill out for a bit.